We're live.
To access translation of the agenda, click the top of the web page using the word English for translation.
Para acceder a la traducción de la agenda, haga clic en la parte superior de la página web usando la palabra inglés para traducirlos en varios idiomas.
Meeting interpretation services are available via Zoom.
Los servicios de interpretación para esta reunión están disponibles a través del Zoom
By clicking on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen.
si presionan el icono abajo en el globo en la parte inferior de la pantalla.
Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. We recognize that we are presently on the lands of the Chochenyo, Muwekma, Karkin, Ohlone peoples, and acknowledge them as the first inhabitants of the land we currently occupy. I would like to welcome everyone to this retreat of the Board of Education. Date is August 2, 2021. This meeting will provide public comment opportunities on agenda and non-agenda items through the Zoom app or by telephone. We have changed the public comment format, which will now occur at the beginning of the meeting. Public comment will last for 1 hour and includes any agendized item. The time allotted for each speaker has also been extended to 2 minutes. To indicate your desire to speak on an agenda item, raise your hand by clicking on the appropriate icon in the Zoom app or by pressing *9 if accessing the meeting by phone. In order to be recognized to speak, your hand must be raised before public comment begins. To access translation of the agenda, click the top of the web page using the word English for translation into multiple languages. Meeting interpretation services are available by Zoom by clicking on the globe icon at the bottom of the screen. The mission of the West Contra Costa Unified School District is to prepare students for post-secondary education and to be responsible, thinking, contributing members of our global society. We believe in public education as the most important function in a democratic society. We believe we must treat everyone with courtesy, dignity, and respect. Provide safe and nurturing environments in which to learn, teach, work, and participate. Serve our students by working as partners with our community to develop well-rounded, lifelong learners and contributing members of a global society. Take responsibility for our behavior and performance to ensure the highest possible achievement of all students, employees, and our school community. Provide equitable and essential communication and support for successful learning, teaching, working, and participating. Respect, celebrate, and welcome the diversity, uniqueness, and contributions of all members of our school community. The board member should not subordinate the education of children and youth to any partisan principle, group interest, or the member's own personal interest. Dr. Hurst, may I have the roll call, please?
Absolutely. President Phillips.
Here.
Trustee Clerk Smith Folds.
Good afternoon, everyone. Present.
Trustee Reckler.
Good afternoon to everyone. I am present.
Trustee Gonzalez Hoy.
Good afternoon, present.
And Trustee Christian.
Good afternoon, everyone. Present.
Everyone is a present and accounted for. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Next, we are going to go on to WCC USD Public Comment. Again, let me back up a little bit because I think this is a little off. First, I'm going to disclose the items that we're going to discuss in closed session. And then when I take public comment, I'm going to take public comment for everything altogether, including the closed session item. So we have one item that we are going to discuss in closed session this evening, and that is the superintendent's evaluation. That said, anyone who has public comment on the closed session item or any item on the agenda or not on the agenda that is in the jurisdiction of the district, now would be your time to make the comments. So I want to wait a moment to let people raise their hands. Okay, do we have any public comment?
We do have one comment.
Okay, so anybody else who wants to raise it now. Going once, going twice, gone. Please start.
Okay, we have our public comment from Mr. Don Cosney. Can we get the clock up?
I'm working on it. Give me 1 second. The clock is up.
Mr. Cosney, please unmute yourself.
You're going to restart the clock on me now? Thank you. It's broken record time where I rise to voice my concerns about some of this board's activities. I've been criticized by members of this board for speaking of my constructive efforts to correct a wrong instead of praising the actions of the board. When these board criticisms of public comments are made in public and on the record, I have a tough time differentiating them from the bullying this board speaks against in our schools. I've voiced my concerns multiple times about how this board took action to eliminate the standing reports where the voices of community volunteers were virtually silenced so the public could not hear what they had to report on. This board recently took action to almost completely cut off public comment at board and committee meetings. The new policy requires speakers to bunch their comments on the entire agenda into one very brief set of comments, even before being allowed to hear the presentations that they'll be commenting on. We've heard board members boast about how this new policy has made our meetings so efficient, and we're hearing giddy comments about how early the meetings are concluded. At your last board meeting, this new policy prompted only 3 speakers from the public. 3. And still, we heard boasts from board members about how much smoother your meetings are without having to listen to the public. One of the more important issues that this board will be addressing is what to do with the community oversight of the nearly $750 million bond program. There are strong and largely unopposed efforts by board members and staff to silence the public's oversight of this huge amount of tax dollars. Your facilities committee went on record saying, and I quote, "As far as I'm concerned, Mr. Anderson is the chair of the CBOC. He's the representative of the CBOC. So if there is a meeting or a phone call like the one I had last night, it will be with Mr. Anderson because he is the chair. If it's not a full meeting like everybody's there, he's the chair. So past CBOC people who have opinions, well, those opinions are greatly appreciated. For anybody, if you're not on the CBOC, please do not think that you are going to be sitting down and hashing out what this policy is, because you're not. Between myself, Anton Younghair, and Tom Panis, we have combined history of more than half a century of experience with the CBOC and the bond program, and the policy of this board is to listen only to someone with only about 12 months of history with this. I have so much more to say, but once again, this board seems to prefer silence.
That concludes our public session.
Thank you very much to the caller in for your comments. We are now going to adjourn, or we're really recessing the closed session. And then we will be back out in open session later. And we will see you then. So thank you very much. We are going to close session now.